The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hello children, I hope you are enjoying your virtual classes and online Kalolsavam together, isn't it? Children, participation is important than winning. Now, let's recollect what we have learned in the previous class. Where did we stop, children? In that Cinderella? Yes, Cinderella was reminded by the fairy that she will have to return home before 12 o'clock. Yes, because the magic will end by that time. Now, I'll continue the ball. It's the Latin word ballare. That means to dance. Let's read the first paragraph. Listen, okay? The ball. Children, listen to your textbook. Cinderella went to the ball dressed in wonderful clothes. She rode in the red coach. 6 footmen waited on her. In the ballroom, she looked like a princess. Nothing was then heard but a confused noise. How beautiful she is! How beautiful she is! Children, here Cinderella rode in the red coach with 6 white horses and 6 footmen waited on her. She looked extremely gorgeous and beautiful. All were staring at her beauty. So the room was silent and everybody could hear only the repeated words. What's that? How beautiful she is. Yes, I'll read the second paragraph. Listen. The prince noticed her at once. He danced only with her. Her sisters were now jealous of her, but they did not recognize Cinderella. She went on dancing and forgot about the time. Then the clock started to strike 12. Okay, so what happened, children? The prince noticed her and he only danced with her because of her beauty. Sisters were jealous of her. Asuyapattu, Chechi Marappu. Even her stepsisters could not recognize her. She looked different than her normal way of dressing. Yes? She forgot fairy's words about the time. What time fairy said? 12 o'clock. Before that, she should enter her home. Let's see in the next paragraph. She now remembered the words of the fairy. She bowed to the prince and ran quickly out of the ballroom. Arriving home, she ran to seek out her godmother to tell everything that had happened at the ball. She said that she heartily wished she could go to the ball the next day as well because the prince had invited her. Then her 2 sisters knocked at the door. Cinderella ran and opened the door. So children, what happened? The clock struck 12. She remembered the words of the fairy. So she bowed, that means put our heads in front because of respect, and ran out of the ballroom. So as soon as she reached home, she ran to seek That means to look for her godmother to explain everything. So what she said to her? Yes, she was very energetic because of that whole thing happened there. Wholehearted wishes to her to go to the ball the next day as well, because the prince had invited her. When she heard the knock of the door, she ran to open the door. Okay, children, I'll move to the next paragraph. Listen. You stayed such a long time, she cried, gaping, rubbing her eyes and stretching herself as if she had been sleeping. Children, what did Cinderella pretend to be asleep here? Sorry, why did Cinderella pretend to be asleep? Because her sisters did not want to recognize her. That's why she pretended like that. She cried. That is, what's the meaning for cry? In front of them, she cried. Gaping means yawning because of her deep sleep. She pretended like that. And rubbing her eyes. That means we also do like that, no? And stretched herself. That is extremely makes our body stretched. Why? Because she did not want her sisters to know the secret. She pretended as if she was asleep. Okay, children? I'll move to the next page. Listen. If you had been at the ball, said one of her sisters, you would not have been tired with it. The finest princess was there, the most beautiful that mortal eyes have ever seen. Cinderella seemed very indifferent to what they said. Indeed, she asked them the name of the princess, but they told her they did not know. So children, what happened here? The sisters exclaimed about the finest princess. They narrated the whole incident, but Cinderella stood there hearing indifferently. That means having no particular interest in that. That is the meaning for indifferent. In that facial expression, she inquired her. They did not know about her name, the princess' name. Yes, she asked for her name, but the sisters did not know about that. Children, I'll read next few sentences. Listen. Cinderella, smiling, replied, she must then be very beautiful indeed. How happy you have been. Could not I see her? Ah, dear sister, do lend me your yellow dress which you wear every day. Yes, to be sure, cried her sister. Lend my clothes to such a dirty cinder wench as you are. I should be such a fool. The entire family burst into laughter. She asked for the yellow dress, but did they give? They owned by her sisters. That is daily dress. She asked that daily yellow dress from her sisters. Did they give, children? No. Instead, they addressed her as a dirty cinder wench. Wench means a girl. Okay, I'm not a fool to give. That's what that sister said. Because of that, the whole family burst into laughter. That means laughing loudly. Is it good, children? In that situation, what they did, the sisters, what they did is good? No. Okay, I move to the next paragraph. Listen. The next day, the two sisters were at the ball, and so was Cinderella, dressed even more significantly than before. The prince was always by her side and never ceased to give his compliments and kind words to her. Cinderella forgot about the time. She thought that it was no later than 11 when she counted the clock striking 12. She jumped up and fled, as nimble as a deer. In her hurry, she left one of her glass shoes in the ballroom. So children, the next day as usual, sisters went Yes, to the ball. Cinderella, even more magnificent, that means extremely beautiful, that is excellent dressing than the previous day. The prince never ceased, that is stopped, to give his compliments, wishes. Compliments means wishes, and spoke kind words to her. Because of these things, again, she forgot the time. Now the time was 12. So she heard that bell striking. Yes, she jumped up, fled, and nimble, that means quick and fast. Means she fly like anything, as a deer. That's what they explained here. She nimble as a deer and reached the coach. By that time, she lost one of her glass shoes. Okay, children? Such a thrilling position now. Yes, situation is going on. Yeah? I'll move to the next paragraph. As she reached the coach, she heard the last ding-dong. Suddenly, the coach became a pumpkin. The horse turned into mice and the footman into green lizards. Her clothes became the old rags again, but the one shoe on her foot was unchanged. She reached home before her sisters arrived. So they did not know about her going to the ball. See what happened here? When she reached the coach, the clock struck ding dong. That's the 12 o'clock. Immediately, everything changed into its original position. Yes? What are all the changes? The coach as a pumpkin, footman, green lizards, and white mice changed into white. White horse changed into white mice. Her dress also changed into old dirty rags. But her glass shoe, one shoe, she left there in the ballroom, and the next one in her leg, that's remained as such. Anyhow, she was reached home. Yes? Anyhow, she reached her home before they arrived. They did not know about her secret. Children, do you think that prince will be able to search and find her out? Children, write the answers very clearly. While starting the answer, don't start with because. That is also important while writing the answers. Okay, children, write your answers and meanings and send it to concerned teachers. I'll meet you in the next class. Bye.